Hey, good morning. We're going to discuss weekly, monthly, and quarterly maintenance on the Air Techniques 2000 XR and the AT2000 Plus. Also, this will apply to the other large processors, to wit, the Dentex 810 Basic, the Dentex 810 XL, as well as the Gendex GXP film processor. We're using the All-Pro for demonstrative purposes, because there is more of these out there than anything else, and I think this would be very pertinent for you guys. A couple of warnings before we start. Whenever you work on a processor or work in a dark room, as I've stressed in school, cleanliness is of the utmost essence. Be careful with your developers and fixers. Your chemicals are extremely caustic and bleach-like. They will ruin your clothes, they will ruin the doctor's carpet, it will ruin the paint on the walls. So you can't be sloppy. The best thing to do is carry an old beach towel with you, or 2 or 3 even. Lay them at the threshold of the door going out of the dark room into the main office area. If any developer or fixer is inadvertently spilled on the floor, it will keep you from tracking it on the carpet and having to replace the doctor's carpet. Be very careful. It's up to you individually in your area, in your territories, to know the requirements for chemical disposal, fixer and developer disposal. Our class today, we will be dumping our chemicals or our simulated chemistry in the drain back to the environment. Certain states will let you do that, certain states won't. Then again, you have to be versant with this before you even start a processor service. So research it, please, and find out about the rules in your area. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to help you research. I can't do it for you, but I'll be happy to help you. That being said, let's move on to the processor maintenance weekly. A processor is like an autoclave. It's only as good as you keep it clean. If you go into a doctor's office and see a processor he's had more than 6 or 7 years, and it still runs, and it still produces a good radiograph, that's because their maintenance has been scrupulous. Either that or they spent a ton of money in it over the years. But it's usually because of scrupulous maintenance. Let's discuss weekly first. Weekly maintenance, we're going to unscrew the lid of the processor by the back, unscrew the electrical connections, pull our plug out, and set the top over to the side, exposing the transports and the tanks and tubs. Be careful with this top. This top is about a $2,200 item. Now, remembering that neatness is of the key factor here, you want to keep spillage and contamination down. We're going to take a rag or an oil sword. We're going to take out the developer first. Notice how I'm doing this? I'm letting it drip into the tub before I even take it out. Take your time, guys. Haste makes waste. If you don't take your time, you're going to spend more time cleaning up your mess than you are the processor. Set the transport over in the sink. Next, the fixer transport. This also gives the staff or you, whoever's cleaning the processor, a good chance to inspect the tubs for crunchies, debris, fixer salts, the whole 9 yards. So be very observant when you're doing this. This is an ideal condition to do this, by the way. We have plenty of space and we have plenty of light. In a dark room, you're going to be cramped, and it's going to be dark because it's a dark room. So stay organized and stay clean. Have your flashlight with you and your tools with you. Next, we're going to take out the wash-dry transport, like so, and we're going to set it over here for a moment, okay? Now, using an approved cleaner, the only thing approved by the factory for the AT2000 is Spray 2000 Plus. Be very sparing with this. When you spray, you must rinse at least twice as much as you spray. We're going to move to the sink. We're going to spray our transports lightly. Gears as well, side panels as well. Fix and depth. Okay. And using a soft bristle cloth or sponge, we're actually going to wipe the racks and scrub the racks. Now, you must use two different sponges, one for fixer and one for developer, to keep the risk for contamination down. Developer, fixer. Now we're doing the developer. As we scrub, we're going to turn so we can get all of our gear surfaces and all of our roller surfaces. You can't scrub too much either, guys. Side panels, gears. Now, it's time to rinse. As I stated earlier, you really got to rinse them good. This stuff will have an adverse reaction with the film when it's ran through it, and it will make the emulsion very, very, very slimy. And the emulsion won't sit on the film will remain soft. Now, when you tell the staff how to do this or instruct the staff how to do it, number one, the processor when it was brand new comes with a maintenance video. Air Techniques is extremely, extremely good about providing training info for the staff with the purchase of a new processor. See, I'm still rinsing. You have to use your fingers and feel for slime and turn the gears. Developer, these have got to be air dried. So the best time to do this for the staff recommendation is at the end of the day, where they can let the rollers set out all night. Do not soak these rollers. They will swell up. You see I put a paper towel under it to keep from dripping it on the carpet? Developer. Now we scrub the fixer. We already have our solutions on it. A cleaning solution. You can use a sponge. Air Techniques solutions, their developer and fixer solutions, the new ones, comes with a red sponge and a black sponge respectively. Remember to turn your surfaces while you clean, okay? Once again, a thorough rinse. Thorough. However long it takes you, that's how long it takes. Now we're going to set these over here to air dry while we briefly go over monthly as well as quarterly. Wiping down continually, guys. If that fixture sets, it will leave a stain and it will leave a white mark. Okay? Next, for the weekly, which involves changing the solutions, we're going to take our standpipes out one at a time to keep the smell down. And we're draining into the drain. Let's take a moment while we're letting the fixer drain to make sure that we have a washer on our drain pipe. And we do. Feel for the resiliency. It's a flat rubber washer. It keeps the solutions from leaking out. It's a flat rubber washer. The only one that doesn't call for a washer is your wash tank. Do never put a washer in your wash tank. Stopper, okay? Now, we'll set our stopper aside. Time to do the fixer. We've already drained it out. You'll get a terrible smell if you drain them both together. You'll get a smell so vinegary and so ammonia-like you won't be able to stand in the dark room. Now, we can better illustrate on the red one because the gasket's black. The gasket on the standpipe. These are very cheap. This is going to be probably 50% of your problem with this processor. The girl's going to say, I'm using a lot of solutions. This is why, because the solutions are leaking out of the tank around the washer. We're going to cover that on a technical video, guys, okay? This is purely maintenance. We'll set these aside. We are draining and draining and draining and draining beautifully. Remember, check in your area the requirements for draining fixer and developer, and for fixer and developer reclamation. Very good. Now, we're going to take water with the tubs out, with the stoppers out, and with the tubs out, and we're going to rinse our tubs. Giving everything a chance to purge and rinse very well. If you apply a cleaner to the tub, this doubles for quarterly and weekly maintenance, monthly maintenance. If you put a cleaning solution in the tub, you must rinse each tub 1, 2, 3, developer, fixer, and rinse 4 times to get the agent out. So be sparing and be Scottish with your cleaning materials, okay? Take a clean rag, wipe the water out because we don't want any water weakening our new solutions. Okay? Now, this is doubling for monthly and weekly while we've got the processor apart and for time consideration on our tutorial. Also, it helps keep the smell down in the dark room. Again, I stress you cannot be too clean with a processor. We'll wipe the drive shaft down, the side panels, kind of wipe things down while we're in here. That way, it's beneficial for everybody. It's good for the doctor, and it's good for you because you're going to have to service it again eventually. The cleaner it is, the more of a joy it'll be to service, the less you will dread it. Now, while we have the transports out, we're going to go ahead and cover quarterly maintenance, which means cleaning flushing the agitators. Inside each tank is an agitator magnet cover and magnet and spacer. These actually stir the solution. You've all heard a processor when you cut it on go krr, krr, krr. That's what this is. It's magnets working against another magnet on the bottom side of the processor. We take these over, give them a good spraying with the solution. They look to be extremely clean. We're just going to rub over them and make doggone sure they're clean. And remember, thorough rinsing. Rinse the agent off thoroughly, thoroughly, thoroughly. We'll set those aside to let them dry. Paul, if you can pan down here to my feet. That's fixer and developer on the automatic replenishing system. There is no need to disconnect the fixer and developer while you're doing this, okay? So, one more time with the agitators out, we'll flush. Remember, if you use a cleaning agent in here, 4 flushes of 1 gallon each in each tub. Since we're not using a cleaning agent in the tub, there's no need for us to rinse 4 times. We'll let our rinse water drain out. Again, it's ideal if they have a sink in the dark room, guys, because all you got to do is bada bing right over to the sink. If you have to carry the transports out to the kitchen or wherever they have a sink or to the lab, guys, again, remember, put an oil sorb on them, a piece of cardboard, a beach towel, anything. You cannot keep too many rags and stuff while you're doing processor maintenance, okay? Once again, we're going to dry the tanks out. One drop of water in fixer is all it takes to weaken that fixture so bad it will not fix the image. You will lose the image. It will keep developing until it just develops away. Wipe everything out, and we're looking good. We're going to get our magnets, our agitators. We're going to dry them off because water is the enemy of solutions once again. Dry them thoroughly. Also, this gives us a chance to examine them for more debris, fixer crystals, developer crystals, any number of things. And we replace them right back the way they came out. Guys, on the FTP site, there are written instructions. If you need reference, you can always call me or Paul. Where's it at? It's on the FTP site?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's under Processor Air Techniques, AT2000, along with the maintenance prerequisites for the Perrier Pro, which we have shot in a previous video. Again, if you got any questions, you can refer to that or call me. I'll be happy to elaborate for you. We're going to dry our fixer off and our fixer agitator cover. Replace these. Guys, cleaning equipment takes time. As you've learned from school, sterilization takes a long time to clean. Processors take a long time to clean. We're going to make sure our stems are dry, our standpipes, black for developer. Screw those back in. No need to rump down on them, guys. It's just a rubber seal. Fixer, respectively. And our rinse. Remember, no washer called for on the rinse because you want the rinse water to change, exchange, exchange, exchange. We have those thoroughly inserted. We're going to put our clean to dry transport in. Lock it in. We're going to put our fixer in after we check to see that it's sufficiently dry. Remember, I stated earlier, do this in the evenings or have the ladies in the office do this in the evenings. That way everything will be dry when they put it back together in the morning. Put our fixer in, lock it in. Same developer. Good wipe down. Check for freedom of your rollers. That also shows additional debris on the rollers that you can get rid of while you've got them out. And we have a lot down. Very good. Now, before we put the lid back on the processor, we're just going to go around the exterior and do a general wipe down. We want the doctor to have value added and to retain our services again, and we're going to do everything we can to keep that happening. Next, we're going to put some chemistry in the tank before we put the lid back on. We always do fixture first. We're very neat with it, so we do not cross-contaminate. So we do not drip into the developer. It's a natural order of things for a developer to get into fixture, but not for fixture to get into developer. You've negated the entire developer tub if one drop of fixture gets in it. We have our fixture loaded. Guys, do never, ever, ever start this processor or push the power switch without some kind of solution in the tank. You will burn the tank up. You will burn the heating element up under it, the heating pad, and it will be a mess. And it'll be an expensive mess too. So be careful. Now we're going to add our developer. You can't overfill it because it has an overflow on the standpipes that only lets you top it off to a certain level. If you keep pouring after it's reached that level, you're wasting solutions. Solutions are expensive, guys. You can pay up to $90 for a case of developer and fixer. And they're going to get more expensive as more people are called for digital. Now, we're ready to replace our lid. Give it a once over once again. Being very careful with your lid. Very, very careful. We're going to reset the lid. With the up logo on our coaxial connector. We're going to put it in the receptacle in the back of the processor. Screw the retaining ring in. And that is completed. Now, we're going to turn the processor on after we plug it back in. And we're going to listen for our replenishers to pump. We can turn the switch off one more time. Now, you will hear a little bit of glooping inside the processor. You may not be able to hear it on the tutorial, but you hear gloop, gloop. That's the replenisher drawing the solutions out of the tank, out of their tubs and the bottles, and depositing them in the tanks. Remember, we've already put a certain amount of fixer and developer in the tanks to eliminate dry start and to eliminate burning the heating element. Now, we have a cleaning film. This is the final step. This doesn't have to be done in the dark. Remember, it's a cleaning film. It's not light sensitive. Now, our cleaning film's well on its way. When the cleaning film, do not use cleaning in endo mode. Use it in the regular mode on normal speed. When your cleaning film comes out clear, dry, and smooth, you've done a successful monthly, weekly, and quarterly maintenance. Remember, cleanliness is of the optimum importance in this machine and in any processor. Once again, in review, please be familiar with the codes for disposal in your area, and please be neat, guys. I don't want you to have to pay for a carpet from Track and Fixer through the doctor's office, and they will make you pay, and rightfully so. So once again, keep beach towels with you. Anything you can wipe your feet on, be careful. It'll ruin your clothes, and it's not good for contact with your skin. You may want to wear eye protection. It's not called for. You may want to wear a mask if you're weak stomach, because it doesn't smell gross, it smells vinegary and acidy. If you do this, you can actually make money doing this quarterly for the doctor. I doubt he'll use you for weekly maintenance. The expense is just too high for the office. But for monthly and quarterly, it's a good service to offer them. The better maintained this processor is, the better quality picture you're going to get. Thank you very much for your attendance. If you have any problems or questions, refer to the FTP site or call Paul or myself. Again, thank you for your attendance.